Why does compounding interest seem like a magical formula, but only for the already rich? Compounding interest is often described as the eighth wonder of the world, a force so powerful that it can turn pennies into fortunes, given enough time and discipline. It's a comforting story, sold in books, blogs, and countless motivational speeches. Save diligently, invest consistently, and let time work its magic. The math is irrefutable, we're told. Interest on interest accumulates, and even modest sums, left to grow, will eventually blossom into real wealth. But beneath this uplifting narrative lies a truth rarely spoken aloud in polite financial circles. The path isn't as universally accessible as it seems. Imagine two people, both sold the same dream. The first scrapes together $100, setting it aside with hope and patience. The second starts with $100,000, perhaps the fruit of family, luck, or circumstance. Both are promised the same miracle, the relentless growth of compounding. But as the years roll on, the disparity becomes glaring. The first watches their savings double, triple, even multiply by 10. But the end result remains humbling. After decades, their nest egg has grown, but it's not life-changing. Meanwhile, the second sees returns measured in entire salaries, sometimes in a single year. Their wealth accelerates at a pace that feels like a different game altogether. The difference, of course, is not just the interest rate or the time horizon. It's the scale of the starting amount, the principle. Compounding works its magic most dramatically when it has a large sum to work with. The math is simple, but its implications are profound. 10% of 100 is 10. 10% of 100,000 is 10,000. The returns aren't just bigger, they open up new worlds of possibility. The wealthy can reinvest those substantial gains, increasing their base and letting the cycle repeat with ever-growing momentum. For those starting with little, the story is different. The discipline required is immense, the sacrifice is real, and the rewards slow to materialize. Each small gain must be protected, and the temptation to dip into savings for emergencies or opportunities is constant. The psychological toll is significant. When returns are measured in pennies or dollars, it's hard to stay motivated over years or decades. The dream of financial freedom begins to feel like a mirage, always receding into the future. This is where the myth of compounding as a universal path to wealth begins to unravel. The financial world, eager to promote hope and responsibility, often glosses over the crucial role of starting capital. The advice to skip lattes or cancel subscriptions is well-meaning, but it ignores the reality that wealth building isn't just about habits, it's about leverage. Without sufficient capital, the engine of compounding idles in place. It hums and spins, but it doesn't move the vehicle forward in any meaningful way. Meanwhile, those with access to capital, through inheritance, high-paying careers, or windfalls, can harness compounding to astonishing effect. Their returns are large enough to be reinvested continually, each cycle building on the last. The gap between those with capital and those without doesn't just persist, it widens, accelerating with each passing year. Compounding, far from being the great equalizer, becomes a force that magnifies inequality. This isn't simply a matter of numbers on a page. The psychological effects are profound. For someone with little, the promise of compounding requires faith that decades of discipline will someday pay off. But for the wealthy, the rewards are immediate and self-reinforcing. Success breeds confidence, which breeds more success. Reinvestments happen not out of hope, but out of calculation. The wealthy can afford to take risks, to invest in new ventures, to capture opportunities that are invisible or inaccessible to those still waiting for their savings to grow. This dynamic is why stories of lottery winners, inheritance recipients, and successful entrepreneurs so often feature dramatic, rapid accumulation of wealth. It's not that they're more disciplined or wiser investors. It's that a large enough starting sum allows compounding to work in overdrive. The first million comes quickly, and the next 10 million seem to follow almost automatically. For the average person, this kind of acceleration is out of reach, no matter how diligent or patient they may be. It's important to understand that this isn't a moral failing. The system is designed this way. Capitalism rewards capital. Compounding is the reward system, but it has a gate at the entrance. You need enough chips to play meaningfully. Without them, you watch from the sidelines as others race ahead. The advice to just invest and wait becomes hollow if it doesn't acknowledge the importance of starting capital. It's like telling someone to win a marathon by walking, without mentioning that others get to start on bicycles. So what does this mean for the average saver? It means recognizing the limits of traditional advice. Small, consistent investments are better than nothing, but they're not a guaranteed ticket to financial independence. Real wealth building often requires a combination of factors: access to capital, the ability to take calculated risks, and sometimes the luck of being in the right place at the right time. It means advocating for systems that provide fairer access to capital through education, entrepreneurship, or policy, rather than simply promoting individual discipline as the sole answer. The next time someone extols the virtues of compounding interest, ask about their starting point. The truth is, in this game, the size of your first move often determines whether you ever have a chance to win. Compounding isn't a magic trick that works equally for all. It's a powerful engine that requires fuel, capital, to run. Without it, the journey is slow, and the destination may remain forever out of reach. Recognizing this isn't cynicism, it's clarity. Only by seeing the true mechanics of wealth can we begin to build a fairer, more honest path forward.